Why everyone is leaving Summerville, South Carolina. Summerville is about to implode, and you need to hear why. Number 5 will either make you jump for joy or cancel your trip to explore this area.
Got it? I'm gone.
And number 7 is making people leave in droves. No other YouTuber is going to talk about this stuff.
That's how I do it.
Yes, you heard it right. Despite the influx of 78 people a day from 2020 to 2024, there has been a noticeable trend of people leaving this beautiful small town. So let's dive into some of the reasons behind this unexpected departure. All right, jumping right into it. Number 1 is growth in infrastructure. First up, Summerville is not quite prepared for its own success. And what do I mean by that? Well, the infrastructure and the surrounding roads just aren't made for the amount of people that are moving here. The constant growth has actually led to congestion, ridiculous times in traffic, and massive accidents and some fatalities, and insufficient roads for both cars and pedestrians. So now not only do you have maybe a 2-lane main roadway, but tack on people who do competitive biking and even some people who just like to bike in the roads in general. This is causing a lot of problems and a lot of headaches for a lot of people that have moved here. The lack of mass transit options is also adding to the lengthy commute to downtown Charleston, especially during accidents or rain. This is just a major turnoff for a lot of people, and I can understand why. If it's going to take you an hour and a half to drive to work every day and then an hour and a half drive home, you're going to be miserable. And for a lot of people who have just moved to Summerville, this is exactly what they're experiencing. Okay, number 2 is the rising home prices and additional fees. A lot of folks will say to me, and I get this a lot, and I always laugh when I talk about this, but people from 2023, 2022 are like, Ryan, we're not going to pull the plug. We're going to wait until home prices come down and interest rates come down. Folks, wake up and smell the sawdust, because I'm telling you right now, home prices here are skyrocketing. A 3,200 square foot, 5-bedroom, 3-bath home that once maybe cost $300 to $350 is now rare to find, even in the low 500s. That's ridiculous. Add to that mandatory fees and vehicle taxes. It's becoming a pretty pricey move. And by mandatory fees, a lot of these master plan communities are initiating what are called district improvement fees or taxes. This is a 30-year fee at generally 2% increase over every year. So if you think about that and you're trying to budget for a home in, let's say, Nexton or Carnes Crossroads, you could be expecting to pay at least shell out another $1,600 a year more than somebody who might be living in Cane Bay. So again, these new neighborhoods, these new master plan communities, they're actually putting estoppel fees or capital contribution fees. Summers Corner actually has a $2,000 capital contribution for their clubhouse that's not even built. So if you're moving into the area, you're moving in and you're saying to yourself, well, we really like that neighborhood. Well, sure, but keep in mind, there's going to be these additional fees. You're going to have not only the capital contribution fee that you're going to pay at closing, but add on top of it, now you're going to be paying a district improvement tax that over 30 years is just going to keep going up and up and up and up and up and up. And I mean, at what point do you go, this is no longer affordable? This is no longer cheap, you know? And so for a lot of folks, I am helping them navigate these different areas because some people don't want to pay those fees. So if you don't, you do really need to connect with me or someone on my team so we can help you. Another reason on this list is the cultural shift. Boy, oh boy, it's getting crazy out there. So many transplants from states like New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Ohio, find that the lifestyle they love or miss is just simply not present here. I've read Facebook groups where you got people from New Jersey complaining that, oh, it's just not, it's an okay town. It's just not like home was. You know, everybody refers to it like home. making themselves have, neighborhood or hometown blues. And it simply doesn't need to be like that. But you have to remember, when you move or relocate here, you have to adapt to the culture. You have to adapt yourself. It's like giving up your hometown memorabilia. You got to wipe the slate clean and start over, start new. And making friends might even be a little challenging, especially if you still have your northern mentality. That doesn't always align with the local vibe here. Most people want to get away from the drama. And unfortunately, there's a lot of you who move here and you keep the drama going. And it's like, you don't need to. This is the South. We're in a new place. You don't need to have attitudes with people. You don't need entitlement. That's for damn sure. And there's a lot of you walking around pretty entitled out there. And if you're going, well, I'm not entitled, then it's probably you.
Keep it real.
Number 4, wildlife and pests. Nature lovers, brace yourselves. Snakes, gators, spiders, gnats, ticks, mosquitoes. Some folks are just unwilling to pay for pest control, but here it's almost a necessity. You need to have a good pest company, because I'll tell you what, your summers, your falls, they're going to be miserable. If you're dreaming of going outside and enjoying the nice weather, no snakes, no spiders, you might as well pack your bags for Antarctica, because it's just not going to happen here. We have those things. It's a part of our climate. And I got to tell you, a lot of people just don't understand that you have to have a good pest company come and spray and take care of all that stuff. And if you're one of those people that's like, well, I don't want to pay for that, well, then you're going to probably have a good amount of pests in your backyard or even in your screen porch. So just something to think about. Hey, do me a favor. Are you enjoying this content right now? Are you enjoying this video? Go ahead and leave me a comment below. But also reach out to me if you're thinking of moving here and some of these things are like, hey, Ryan, we really need to talk. Yeah, we do, because some of these things might not be what you're looking for, and it might be just a reason to scratch Summerville off the list. Number 5, political tensions. Ooh. Now let's address the rhinoceros in the room and talk a little bit more about political tension here in the beautiful state of South Carolina. As everybody knows, South Carolina is a red state, and recent elections reflect that. If you're a Democrat thinking of moving here to change the political landscape, you might want to reconsider, because this is not an area where people want to be changed. This is not an area where they want to be told what to do. If you're somebody that's like, well, rainbows and butterflies and 6,000 different genders, don't come here.
No, Jose.
Don't do it to yourself. You'll be miserable. You'll hate life. And most importantly, everyone around here will make sure you hate life as well, because nobody wants their child to be indoctrinated with brainwashing and stuff like that. That's not the lifestyle here. This is a family-friendly place, good people, and people who don't buy into the rest of the world in the media and what everybody else thinks. I mean, it's kind of unique that Summerville is a very, it's a location in South Carolina too, but Summerville primarily. So many people share the mindset of the same political mindset and landscape. And it's really red. We love our God. We love our guns. We love our country. And generally speaking, we don't want to be told what to do. And if you're going to tell us what to do, well, that's where the Second Amendment comes into play. All right, if you guys love that last one, do me a favor, hit the like button and leave me a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are on number 5. Number 6 is education and quality of life. Education really matters to a lot of families, and some people have left Summerville in search of 10 out of 10 schools in the A-rated institutions. Summerville just isn't getting the 10s. Their schools are, 6 to 9 maybe, and a lot of that is kind of misinformation, because when you go on Google and you start searching stuff, you'll have A+, and then you'll see one that's like a 6, and then you'll see something that's an 8, and they don't really get specific on what the rankings and how the rankings work and so forth. So it's kind of a shot in the dark, and you really need to do your due diligence by coming here and visiting the schools. That's what my wife and I did. We really didn't take a lot of other people's reviews into consideration because those people just wanted us to buy in a better area and go to a better neighborhood and say, hey, if you move to Mount Pleasant, the schools there are amazing. And it's crazy because like the school that our daughter goes to, pretty good. It's a Summerville school. It's pretty good. I enjoy it. No issues. The demand for schools, though, here in Summerville is needed. We have overcrowding. We have wait lists. It is true. These are things that are just frustrating for moms and dads, and I get it because I'm there with you. I have 2 kids right now on a wait list. You know, it's ridiculous. And I live freaking 1.5 miles from the school. Like, duh, you know? But there's a demand for more schools. Qualified teachers and non-woke administration. Can we at least put that out there? That's definitely in our growing population the one thing we need. We need teachers. We need great administration, and we need people who understand the way of life here. And I think a lot of that is already in place. It's just we need more schools. And as we continue to grow, we need to make sure that the whole concept of kids going to school, learning, and having quality education isn't lost in the bigger scheme of, you know, everybody else's agenda. So my final thought on schools, if you've got your eyes on a particular neighborhood, then set your goals to check out that neighborhood, check out the schools that it's zoned for. Even if you don't have a child going into middle school yet, I would still look at the middle school to make sure it's something that reflects what you deem as acceptable or an A+ school for you. All right, number 7 is why people are leaving Summerville in mass droves. It's noise and salaries. If the sounds of motorcycles, fireworks, guns, and loud exhausts are bothersome to you, then this might not be the right area for you. 4th of July, it's like stepping back to the Civil War. There's bangs going off. So if you're one of those people that's like, but I have a dog that's terrified of fireworks, probably not the best place. Or dope that dog up for a couple of days because that's how long it's going to last. People get so bent out of shape because on July 2nd, July 3rd, July 4th, July 5th, July 6th, they're still setting off fireworks. You can literally buy fireworks at Publix. It's not like the rest of the states in the country where this is pretty much outlawed or you'll go to jail if you're caught with fireworks. You will literally go to jail if you're caught with fireworks in New York. Jail. Like we have people running over the border, and yet our big concern is, hey everybody, fireworks, fucking out of control. Not happening here. You're going to go to jail. I can't make this shit up. I really can't. I wish I could. But this is the truth. This is why people are leaving states like New York, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts. It's that blue mindset. And, you know, that's why I think this area is special. Again, if you're somebody who's bothered by noise pollution, definitely probably not the area for you. Okay, let's talk about salaries. Now, everybody who I talk to, generally, they say, hey, my job up in so-and-so does not pay what the job is down in Summerville. And I totally understand that. You do have to understand that the cost of living here is less, but it's not less enough where I would think it would justify you taking a half pay cut or a quarter pay cut. Recently, I had a nurse relocate here, and she told me, she was like, Ryan, I make $70,000 a year up in Pennsylvania. And I was like, that's really good. Good for you. Down here, she thought she was going to have to take a pay cut closer to 60. But it turns out nurses in her field are so in demand that they were actually going to pay her $10,000 more than what she was making up in Pennsylvania. So again, it really comes down, it depends on what your job is. It depends on what demand your job is in. Nurses, school teachers, police, high demand jobs right now. So if you're not in one of the higher paying professions, you just might want to explore other options, or keep in mind that you just might have to spend a little differently in order to fit into that salary. And trust me, you can do a lot here on little money. That's one of the nice things. I just want to remind you guys that there are some really good things about Summerville. The friendly people, the beautiful beaches nearby, the charm of downtown Charleston and historic Summerville. They're just undeniable facts about moving here. The healthcare is top notch, but it does take you a little bit to get acclimated with a doctor or a doctor's office. But there are also plenty of different cultural activities, athletic opportunities. If you're someone who's just like, hey, I like to do a little bit of everything. Well, we've got everything here, and you can do as much of it as you want. The big thing to take away is that if you're someone that just got an attitude, you're not a happy person in your life there, and you think moving is going to change that, really take that, evaluate that, and make sure this is going to be the right move for you. Because if you can't stand those things that I just mentioned, then you're not going to be a happy camper. Summerville is just a really great place for the right kind of people. All right, guys, if you love this information, I want you to click this video right here. This video is going to tell you a little bit more about what to expect when relocating to Summerville.